Hello guys and gals, what's up? Today I'm here with a video about more legendary Re's. I've been testing a lot, as I said in my previous videos, and I have a little bit of content and information about these legendary Re's. Let's start with Firewatch. If you want to do what it does, you can just pause the video when I click it on the interface. It basically makes you a melee hunter and mixing a little bit of shaman in it. It's a really fun build. I see a lot of people playing it even in raids. I made my spec considering I wanted to do a little more AoE, so it's not the same spec that people using it, but it's very similar to it. As you see, 20k AoE is a pretty nice AoE. Okay, the problem with the AoE here on this build is that you need some seconds. I would say about 7 seconds, 6 seconds to just really hit hard. As you see, when I start these pulls, I'm lowest in the AoE, but after the pull ends, I do like half of the group's DPS. You will be needing the hunter tier set for this spec. I really believe that this is one of the top tier specs now. It has a really good single target DPS and really good AoE DPS. The only problem with the spec is that fights that you have a lot of movement, you will be doing a lot less DPS. But it's good for mythics, it's good for raids. It's also a very fun spec, man. I wanted the melee hunter for like a year now, and I'm getting it, and it's so fun to play. You see, my DPS on this fight is not bad. It's really okay. It has a lot of movement, but on this fight, where you don't have to move a lot, my DPS is gonna actually skyrocket to about 7.5k DPS, which is really nice. I'm not maxed geared. Also, this is not the spec that everyone is playing. It's my build. It's a little bit more fun, a little more AoE. So the legendary random enchant is really strong, I believe. I will have footage of another player playing the regular build that everyone is using on the server. Okay, Haiska is using the regular Firewatch and he's doing 10k, so it's really good. If you want to play my spec, you can find it on the build finder, as you see now on the screen. I just want to add that Firewatch is a little bit of complicated. This legendary random enchant. You need to keep in mind a lot of buffs and debuffs and spells and cooldowns, so it's a little bit tiring for me. That's why I made my spec to be a little bit more easy on the eye and the playstyle. Now, on to the Elemental Assassin. You can see what it does on the screen. It's mixing rogue with shaman. Okay, guys, my problem with the backstab builds is that it's really hard to use them on raids when every boss and mini bosses move a lot, so they're not very dependable. Another problem with this build is that you have a lot of buffs to keep an eye. A problem that I found when I was testing is that it was a little bit hard on the mana side. I was using agility gear, and agility is my main stat. I was using shamanistic rage too, and I spent like 3 or 4 hours on the dummy, and I think that the build felt that it was underperforming, and the legendary enchant was the main reason on it, so I didn't spend too much time on it. You will not be seeing any more footage on raids and dungeons. Now on to Knight of the Eclipse, a very strong legendary random enchant. It's mixing Balance Druid with the rogue. You basically get Sinister Strike to give you a buff that makes your next Wrath and Starfire instant casts. You need 2 Sinister Strikes to get them to instant cast, and you get buffs and making them hit a lot harder. I basically spam Sinister Strike and Starfire, and then Sinister Strike and Wrath. Very fun spec. You get to mix a little bit of AoE there with the buff that you get, but it's really a single target DPS. This was also my second pick as a main DPS spec for this season. It's very fun, it's very good. You see 7.5k with the strength paladin gear. I don't have the paladin t-shirt, just a couple of pieces. You will be needing strength gear. I'm using strength and spell power gear, and spell power main hand and strength offhand on the test that you've seen on Gruul. Really strong spec, really strong legendary enchant. It performs amazing, definitely good for raids and everyone who wants to do a lot of single target DPS. You get a little bit of range because after you get the buff you can just hit them instantly, and the Starfire does amazing damage on this. I have a build uploaded on the Architect. If you type my name, Magnus, my character's name on the server, or Magnus with an OU, you'll probably see my builds. It's really strong, it's performing really well. If you want to play the spec, it's really fun. Just check out my build or somebody else's. The legendary enchant is really strong and you can't go wrong using it. Now onto the Wind Rager, a very nice legendary random enchant. It's very versatile. It makes your Storm Strike into Wind Strike, that it's a energy combo based ability, and your whirlwind comes off cooldown very fast. It's mainly for AoE. It's strongly suggested for hybrids, spell power and strength hybrids. I've seen that the fire hybrid can use this legendary random enchant really well, but it's also good on other hybrids. I've seen it in frost hybrids, seen using 2-100 weapons and also using 1-200 weapons. So the legendary random enchant is strong. When I tested it with both 200 and 2-100 weapons. It performed really okay, really strong on AoE. I would say that this is a legendary random enchant for people that have a build in their mind and just want to add a little bit of AoE on the build. So it's not very dependent on the build, it's just an addition. Seen people doing crazy AoE on this on mythic dungeons, and I assume heroics too. Seen also using it on Mythic Plus too. Really nice legendary random enchant, definitely one of the winner of this season. Now on to Relentless, a tanking legendary random enchant that feels really weird. It's mixing rogue with a tank. As you see, this season theme is like rogue goes along with everything. But I don't feel that rogue and tanks mix very well, so it feels really weird. You get Hemorrhage to trigger your shoulder bone talent, and so Shield Slam does AoE damage faster, but I fail to understand what this brings to the table to the tanks. I mean, Crimson Tap Champion does that a lot better. It also adds holy spell power damage to Shield Slam. More threat. Holy is a really nice element because there are not many defenses against it from the mobs and the monsters in the game. And giving Shield 100% more armor, it doesn't worth it, at least to me, I think. Expose armor gives you a nice buff, but threat isn't really a problem now in the game. And then Viscerate gives you a second attack with the shield, dealing damage to all nearby enemies, so it gives you a little bit more AoE threat. But why use that when you can just use Shield Slam with the Thunderbolt talent? If you want to go more AoE, you can use other legendary random enchants and do it better, like Warder of the Flame. Crimson Champion does it better, Bulwark does it better in AoE, so I really fail to understand how this would be better to a tank. Maybe it would be better for PvP tanks, but even on that I wouldn't count on it. Now, this video went on a lot longer than I was expecting, but there was a lot of information to say, a lot of hours me testing these legendary random enchants. I also got a second video coming with other 5 legendary random enchants. and hope you like this video, guys and girls. If you like my content, please subscribe or write anything you have to say to me on the comment section. I always try to reply. And thanks for watching, guys. As always, have an amazing day.